Hi, we're almost to a new year, and one of the questions I have already gotten multiple times this year, and I did a little thing on this last year that I hope will be helpful. So I'm going to share a few resources to get your 2024 started right. I'm going to share some devotionals, Bibles, a couple other things. So let's start with Bibles. I love reading through a translation, and then when I've finished, I like to read through another translation. So I also like, just because I'm weird this way. So last year, this is the Moffat translation. My dad gave me this Bible, and this was the Bible that I started the end of 2022. And I finished in November, and my dad always puts his name, and so I put my name under it, but then I put when I started it and when I finished it. This translation is absolutely wonderful. I so enjoyed reading this last year. It's called the Moffat translation. You can find it somewhere, I'm sure. One of my other favorites, the chronological Bible. I don't know if you've ever read the Bible in chronological order, but this is wonderful. This is a New Living Translation. I think it's by Tyndale. It is a wonderful Bible. One of my other favorite Bibles is the Spirit-Filled Life Bible. This is so good. I've read this multiple times, and I got this one from my dad. I don't know if I got this Bible, but he gave me this Bible at one time. Great Bible. This is what I'm reading this year, which also includes a couple books, I think, from the Dead Sea Scrolls, maybe. It's called the Revised New Jerusalem Bible. I have really been enjoying this too because it gives you a lot of historical context, which I love. And so I'm really excited about this journey. So the other question I get is devotionals. Okay, so some of my old ones that I used for years and years and years that are just fabulous staples. God Calling. This is an old devotional, and like I've just got bukus of stuff in here. One that I used for years and years and years and years is Streams in the Desert. And Streams in the Desert had, this particular one had like journaling, and so I'd write the year and what God was doing and the prayer request. Usually it was a prayer request. But it's so neat to go back and look at what God did. So these are two old ones that I used forever. Then a couple years ago, I discovered this one, which was wonderful. It's called Sparkling Gems 1, Sparkling Gems from the Greek. And it's by Rick Renner. He's a pastor in Russia, actually, American, but now he's a pastor in Russia. And this is so good because it dissects words in the Greek, just gets all there in the meat of them. I'm actually doing version 2, or this volume 2 this year. But this is wonderful. The other one that I can't find that I have loved, that I've read recently in the last few years, is Jonathan Cahn's Mystery of the Messiah. I think it's 365 days. I don't know that it says devotional, but it's a devotional and you can utilize it like a devotional. Then, if you want some tools that just really get you into like Jesus 101 and walking with Jesus 101, I think I'm going to do a series on that this year. My mentor and friend, Pastor Dale Everest and his son Joel wrote this fabulous series called The Core Four. I don't have all 4 of them with me, but it starts with the daily life journal, goes to following Jesus, then it may be stepping into the kingdom, and then the 4th one is called Empowered. You can get all of these on Amazon. They are so good. So good. We just finished them up, he and I together, after like 2 years, I think. So that is wonderful. Then I got this neat gift from my friend that I have saved for the new year. It's called the Abide Journal, and it has Bible study where you write the passage and then it has be still, which my word for 2024 is quiet and stillness. Abide, adore, apply, and then it has a section for prayers, a section for adoring the Lord, thanking Him, gratitude. Then it has a section for notes. Maybe my favorite gift this year. Super excited about that. Then a couple things that I have done for the last, years. One, this was kind of a new one. I've only been doing this probably the last 4 or 5 years. Got it from my precious friend Ken Edwards. It's just kind of seeing if there's a word the Lord has to kind of govern my year. God's given me words. He's given me phrases. One year He gave me the phrase, "I've got you," and boy, did I need that year. This year it's quiet, stillness and quiet. And the way I kind of know is a thought will kind of start growing in my heart, and then it's like I see the word everywhere. It's in my devotion, it's in my Bible reading. It just is like right here. So I'm really interested to see what all God is going to say in that, and I'm actually think I'm going to talk about that for our New Year's Day Monday musing, kind of unpack that a little bit for us. And then the last thing that has really been transformative, and I don't always realize the full impact, the full measure of what it has afforded me, often until I get to the end of the year and I can look back. But I have been doing a first of the year fast, real intentional set aside time with the Lord. If you've never fasted before, I highly recommend any book by Jensen Franklin on fasting. He's a pastor at Free Chapel in Gainesville, Georgia. And he has wonderful resources on fasting, and they're simple and easy to understand. And fasting can look different. Now, when Scripture talks about fasting, it always talks about it in regards to food. So I give up some element of food, and it varies and it differs. I usually do it for a couple weeks. But during that time, I set aside very intentional time to be quiet and to listen and to just give the Lord the first fruits of my year, because Scripture says the first governs the whole. So I give Him the first fruits of my year, and it just really feels like it sets the tone for what's ahead. And so I just encourage you, if you've never done that, to do it, to try it, to see what God may want to speak to you, reveal to you. I kind of look at that setting aside those first few weeks of the year as like the year before. It's kind of like all these things attached to you, like little leeches, and it just feels like time to slough them off and just start the year fresh and renewed and alive and listening. And so those are it. Those are my thoughts, my resources, my go-tos. I think God gave us calendars so that we can feel like we're turning a fresh page in each new year, and that's kind of what these resources do for me. So I hope some of this helps you. I hope some of these resources the Lord will just highlight to you, and you'll be like, yes, that's what I'm going to use this year. So that's all. Happy New Year. May you start it intentionally, thoughtfully. May the Lord speak to you in it as you enter it. And may you just hear His voice and dig into Him deeper in a new way.